Welcome back, everyone. So finally I've got a pocket of time to finish our beautiful wand painting. It's been a minute that I've been busy, and I am excited to get into this and to finish this project so that I can move on to the next. So let's get started with the flame of hope. There we go, that's much better. So our painting is doing very well. I am quite happy with the intensity of the color, and we've got a beautiful foundation to work with. I really think I'm just going to continue to focus on details and just forming this beautiful rock. So there's some clarity necessary in this work. But before we continue, I am just going to take my time here just to remove the salt and also the masking fluid. Now you can just use an ordinary eraser just to get some grip on your masking fluid. You can also just rub it with your fingers, but I like to sort of use my eraser just in case there is maybe any oil on my finger that I might not be aware of. You don't want any oil on your painting. Let's get these small little moss flowers to stand out a little bit. Oh, the lucky charm there is talking. Now what is wrong with that little piece there? There we go. Sometimes you've got to encourage them a little bit. That looks good. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alrighty then. Let's have a look at our reference material. It's always helpful to just strategize a little bit about what we're going to do next. Right. I basically think I'm just going to go in and develop my stone area a little bit more. There's some line work that I can focus on just to bring out some clarity. So let's start there. I mean, why not? Let me get my quill brush out and get that ready to roll. Remember to mist your watercolors before you start with your watercolors. I already did mist mine. That just helps the pigment to get activated and get ready to roll. Right. So for this darker stone business, I'm just turning my page slightly to the side so that I can see beyond my pencil drawing that I did then. It's quite dark underneath here, so I think I need to mix a nice grey. So I'm going to go into my Payne's grey. I'm going to use this green well that we've got here going. And let's get a nice dark color going here. Just twisting my brush there in my pigment. I need it quite strong, so we're talking about like a coffee mixture or a creamy mixture. And you can always test it on another sheet of paper or on your kitchen towel. That's quite nice. Okay. So I definitely have beautiful shadows coming in here. I'm basically improvising a little bit here to sort of make this a little bit more my own. So this sort of looks like a little crack in this stone. And then it comes down being firmly grounded like so. And the same on the left, we have a nice contrast. It's really a lot of guesswork, really. Seeing that it's so dark down there, I'm just going to add a little bit of water and I'm going to connect just this space down here and give it a little bit more oomph. There we go. Now, even this outline of the stone here is got very interesting stone-like marks. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Just break it up a little bit. It's not perfectly round. Creating more depth there. So I can basically go around the shape and just break it up a little bit and just create a little bit of contrast. Just dancing on the toe of my brush as I'm reading my reference and just giving this uneven, rugged edge a little bit of presence. And as we come around, that's going to create a little bit of a shadow there. Nice. And the same on this side as well. I love that. I'm going to rinse that off, take a sip of tea, and get my tea far away from my rinsing water, just in case it splatters or I accidentally put my brush in my tea. That's not a good idea. Right, now the marks on the stone table has this purpley greyish bluish vibe about it. I'm going to use that grey there and I'm going to add some dark Cezine violet to the mix, and I'm going to use a little bit of phthalo blue because it's just potent enough. There we go, and I'm not even going to thoroughly mix it. Now we have this outer sort of circle business, and I'm just going to break this line up as to not create a very predictable circular line, but just to mention this a little bit. There we go. And then there's another sort of circle parallel to that. Gonna rinse that lightly, dive into this yellowy kind of mixture that I've got here, just to sort of create a bit of a brown. The brown isn't giving at the moment. There we go. Okay. So we've got some interesting, that's 2 yellow. An interesting kind of mark there. I'm just going to dip in some deeper color there. And I'm just going to suggest some runes or some marks here that's interesting. Who knows what it is? A little bit more blue. Nice. Let's call it a little bit of semantic writing, just to give this altar a little bit more of a magical presence, and without saying too much. It's nice when we leave something up to the imagination of the viewer as well. I've just rinsed my brush and I'm just going to soften some of these lines with just some clean water on a damp brush. Just break it up a little bit. This almost look like a sundial in a way. That's another interpretation of the stone. Awesome. Alrighty then. I'm going to jump up to these beautiful moss flowers and I'm going to get into my Hansa yellow light, or you could also use a lemon yellow. It's very similar. And I'm just going to fill in these cute little yellow flower heads that is peeking out. And I can allow them to dry so long. But before I do, I'm going to get into this emerald green. I'm going to add a little bit of this olive green. Yes, that's nice. And then I'm just going to fill in the stem with a little bit of that green. And you can see it will push back that white quite a bit. And it's okay if it touches the yellow and it wants to flow in there a little bit. It will just create some color harmony. There we go. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about these leaves that's dulled out a little bit while I was painting the background. Just bring this forward again. Let's do some leaf-like, grass-like structures. Nice. That's feeling good. The same here, I'm going to just strengthen that. Let's add a little bit more of this green mixture. I'm getting very tired to hold this reference material. Let me just put it down. I hope you guys are doing well and that you are enjoying these videos. It's very early here, Friday morning, and my husband had to go into the office, and I happen to have a free day with no client bookings. So I thought today is going to be the day that I'm going to finish this painting and get this up and going on our beautiful Patreon site. Now you guys might have noticed that there are some changes on the Patreon site. They've sort of reinvented this site for us, and the layout is slightly different, a little bit more user friendly. So I hope you guys are gonna have a look at that and just see what you guys can see and enjoy this site a little bit more. That feels good. I think that is grounding that beautifully. I'm going to allow those little flowers to dry, then we'll see if it needs another layer. Now, let's have a look at this wand. Now it becomes all about the wand. Alrighty, I'm going to mix a beautiful cerulean blue. I did contaminate it a little bit with my Payne's grey that went everywhere, but that's okay. That's very dry. We need a little bit of water here for this watercolour. That will help. Right. I think I might have added a bit too much now, but that's okay. So I'm going to start this mixture with some cerulean blue. It's a very soft cerulean blue. I'm going to add a little bit of phthalo blue just to brighten it up a little bit. But it must still read like a lighter blue. Mustn't be too intense. And phthalo can be quite intense. Right, let's see here. That looks like a beautiful happy blue to me. Right, so while that is ready, I will also need some magenta. So let's mix that all up so that it's ready to roll for when we need it. Alrighty, that feels good to me. Yes, okay. And then we also need a little bit of dark Zine violet, dark Zine purple, whichever one you've got. Let's taste. That feels good. And I also see a little bit of turquoise. So let me get my turquoise, well, some water, and let me get in here. That feels better. Alrighty then. We're also going to need a shadow color. So I'm just going to use the turquoise and everything that's on here. A bit of blue. I'm going to add a bit of Payne's grey to the blue. I think it's maybe too blue, so let's cool the blue down, or let's neutralize the blue a little bit with a bit of warmth. Now that looks too green to me. If it's too green, let's add some red. Just make it a little bit more grey again. That feels like a nice shadow color. Okie dokie. I think we're ready to do this wand painting. I'm going to rinse my brush and just take off most of that water. Make sure it's clean water. There we go. Otherwise you contaminate your colors and it can look dull. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start playing with a wand, and we're going to start with this blue. Just going to give it a very, very light outline. Break it up here and there. Just to bring a little bit of contrast to the wand outline. Give it a little bit more presence, shape and form. And I'm just playing on the toe of my brush here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go in between these white zones. I'm going to try do some negative painting. Concentrating very hard here. I don't want to lose the white sort of outlines that I saved with my masking fluid. And again, we have the opportunity to just make it our own. Nice. I'm going to switch to a little bit of violet here in the middle. That's very dark, Gideon. And a rinse. Just soften that violet a little bit. Just connect it into the blue. So that there's a nice transition. I'm going to rinse and get into my magenta. That's also very, very strong. Add more water. Just pick up some of that color. It's a very small area to play in. And you run the risk of making your wand bigger and bigger, so just be mindful. Now this forward bit is basically pure white, so I'm just going to use clean water and just touch the magenta, and I'm just going to push it back a little bit. Pick up some of the yellow and just bring it in here as well. That feels good. A little bit of this turquoise can come in here. Maybe that's way too much, Gideon. but I did want to just have a little bit of a flow there. Right. We're going to have to let this one dry before I can play with it a little bit more. So it's a small area to paint. Here we go, got some movement. Hello my sweetie pie. It's Libby, she's come to say hello. Seeing that I'm alone at home today, they are missing their other daddy. I want to bring in a little bit more of this blue down here. It feels a little bit green to me, simply because I think there's a lot of yellow around it and underneath this layer of blue. And I think we can go a little bit into the indigo, which is here. A little bit of a deeper blue, especially on the bottom side here. There we go. That feels good. Okay. Rinsing off. I want to bring forward a little bit of these green leaves. So I'm going to go into my white gouache. And I'm going to mix it into my green just to lighten this a little bit. And I'm going to bring in that olive green into it just to strengthen the green. Yes. It needs a little bit more emerald, a little bit more apple green. Feels a bit better. What you eating, my love? I'm gonna use some of this yellow. Maybe a bit more of the white. Grab some of this Nico Azo yellow. I want this green to be a little bit more of a yellow green. There we go. That feels nice. Okay. Here and there. Are we seeing it showing up? No, not yet. I need more titanium white. There we go. Just want some of these little grasses to show up a little bit more here in the light of the wand. And the same over here, just do some plant-like structures here. I think that's feeling good. Awesome. Okay. Now we need a little bit of a soft shadow. Let me just make sure this isn't too dark. Should be fine, but I think I'm going to add a drop of water. Bit more of the blue. Okay. Now, here is the shadow of the wand. Right under the wand. Nice and translucent as it comes forward. Now I don't like the shape it made there at the bottom, so I'm just rinsing my brush and wetting it and using the damp brush just to soften the outline of the shadow. Please forgive my doggy, he's barking at the gate. I'm gonna have to go and call him. Just adding a little bit more, like so. Right, so I'm gonna let this dry and get to my doggies, and I'll see you guys just now. Bye bye.